Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most pivotal moves in the AFC North this season. We're talking about a potential game changer, a move that might reshape the Steelers' roster and their prospects for 2025. It all revolves around a player many of you are already familiar with, Christian Watson. But before we get into the specifics, let me set the stage for what's happening around the league, because this is not just about one player. It's about a ripple effect that could alter the entire division. Recently, the Green Bay Packers made headlines with one of the most blockbuster trades we've seen in recent NFL history. They went out and acquired Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys, giving up 2 first-round picks and veteran defensive tackle Kenny Clark. This move signaled that Green Bay is all in this season, aiming for a serious playoff push. The Packers clearly want to bolster their defense, and Parsons, with his explosiveness and pass-rushing ability, is exactly the kind of game changer that can elevate their entire unit. And to seal the deal, they extended him to a 4-year, $188 million contract, making him one of the highest-paid defenders in the league. But here's the interesting part. While this move bolsters the Packers' defense, it complicates their roster management. Because now, with such a hefty extension for Parsons, the Packers are faced with some tough decisions about other key players, especially those on expiring contracts. One of those players is Christian Watson, a young and talented wide receiver who up until now has shown flashes of brilliance, but hasn't yet fully established himself as a consistent, reliable target. Now the Packers move to extend Parsons signals that they might not be able to afford to keep Watson around long-term unless they make some other roster moves. Given their current salary cap situation and their new commitment to Parsons, the possibility of trading Christian Watson becomes more and more real. And if that happens, the team that could benefit the most. That's right, you guessed it, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So why the Steelers? Well, for starters, the Steelers have been in a bit of a holding pattern at the wide receiver position. After trading for DK Metcalf, many fans believed the team was finally set at the receiver spot, with a promising core that could make a real difference in 2025. But then, things shifted. They traded away George Pickens, a move that surprised many, and just recently, they also released veteran receiver Robert Woods. That leaves the Steelers with a somewhat inexperienced group: Scotty Miller, Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin, and Ben Skowronek. Now, outside of Metcalf, who's shown flashes but is still relatively unproven when it comes to consistent production, the rest of the group are mostly young players still trying to find their footing in the league. The Steelers, with a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who's known for his precision and leadership, need a more experienced, reliable target to ensure their offense fires on all cylinders. And that's where Christian Watson comes into play. Many of you have seen glimpses of Watson's talent, his speed, his ability to make big plays downfield, and his knack for finding the end zone. He's only 26 years old, so he's still in the prime of his career, and he already has a proven track record of working well with Rodgers during their shared time in Green Bay. During the 2022 season, Watson accumulated 611 yards and scored 7 touchdowns over 41 receptions. That's not just flashes of potential, that's production from a young receiver with a lot of room to grow. What makes Watson such an appealing target for the Steelers is not just his youth or his experience with Rodgers, but also his style of play. He's a deep threat, a player who can stretch the field and force defenses to respect the vertical passing game. In Pittsburgh, with a quarterback like Rodgers who excels at reading defenses and distributing the ball, Watson could quickly become a favorite target, especially in clutch moments or on those explosive plays that can shift momentum. But here's the thing. Acquiring Watson isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about strategic roster management. The Steelers have been patient, but they realize that to compete at the highest level, they need more than just potential. They need proven production and experience, especially at a position as crucial as wide receiver. Watson ticks those boxes, and his familiarity with Rodgers means he could seamlessly transition into Pittsburgh's offense without the long learning curve that other newcomers might face. Now, imagine the possibilities. You have a quarterback who's a future Hall of Famer, a receiver who's been proven to succeed with him, and a coaching staff that's eager to maximize their offensive potential. The Steelers could be on the cusp of a significant upgrade at the receiver position, one that might propel them into serious playoff contention and give Rodgers the weapons he needs to compete at a high level. It's no secret that the Steelers have been aggressive this offseason with trades and roster moves, trying to position themselves for a deep playoff run, and adding Christian Watson could be the piece that puts them over the top. And let's not forget, Watson's involvement in this year's training camp has been very telling. While he's not yet practicing fully, he's been very engaged, staying close to his group of wide receivers and showing a clear commitment to his recovery and to the team. That kind of attitude and dedication is exactly what the Steelers need. Someone who's not only talented, but also hungry and willing to do what it takes to succeed. Looking back at Watson's brief but impactful stint with Green Bay, it's clear he has the talent and the work ethic to make an immediate impact. His chemistry with Rodgers during their time together is evident, and it's a connection that could translate perfectly to Pittsburgh's offense. With Rodgers at the helm, the Steelers have a chance to unlock a new level of offensive efficiency, and Watson could be the catalyst for that. Now, of course, all of this hinges on the trade negotiations, the team's willingness to part with assets, and the salary cap considerations. But the potential benefits are enormous. For the Steelers, adding a young, proven receiver like Watson could be a franchise-altering move. It could give them that reliable, explosive weapon that they've been searching for, especially after losing some of their depth and experience in recent transactions. And if this move happens, it's going to send shockwaves through the AFC North. The division already looks competitive, with teams like the Ravens, Bengals, and Browns all making moves to improve their rosters. But the Steelers acquiring Watson could give them a real edge, especially if Rodgers and Watson develop that chemistry early in the season. It's the kind of move that can energize a team and its fan base, and it's exactly what Pittsburgh needs to stay relevant in the playoff race. So as we stand here, watching the NFL offseason unfold, one thing is clear: there's a lot of moving parts, and the Steelers are right in the middle of it. Will they make the trade for Christian Watson? Will they see him as the missing piece to unlock their offensive potential? That's what we're all waiting to find out. But one thing is certain: if they do bring Watson into the fold, it could be one of the most exciting moves of the season, and it might just be the boost they need to get back to the Super Bowl. A quick recap: Watson's youth, his proven chemistry with Rodgers, his deep threat ability, and the Steelers' need at wide receiver all point toward a potential match made in football heaven. And with the Steelers already making waves this offseason, adding Watson could be the final piece of the puzzle, a move that cements their status as serious contenders. Imagine Rodgers throwing to Watson on those crucial third-and-long plays, or in the red zone. Defenses are going to have a tough time matching up against that duo. It's a recipe for explosive plays and game-changing moments. And of course, this is just the beginning. The NFL is always full of surprises, and the Steelers are known for being aggressive when it comes to roster upgrades. So, keep your eyes peeled, because if this trade goes through, it's going to be one of the biggest stories of the 2025 season. Fans, analysts, and players alike will be talking about how this move shifted the entire landscape of the AFC North. The Steelers could be on the verge of something special, and Christian Watson might just be the catalyst that sets it all in motion. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize that the Steelers' front office has been very active, and their willingness to make bold moves this offseason shows they're serious about competing at the highest level. Christian Watson's potential addition could be the spark that ignites their offense and helps them make a real run deep into the playoffs. The chemistry he had with Rodgers in Green Bay is a huge plus, and if Pittsburgh manages to acquire him, it will be a move that not only energizes the team, but also sends a message to the entire league that the Steelers are back in the hunt for another Super Bowl. So, Steelers fans, what do you think? Is Christian Watson the missing piece? Do you believe he can help take this team to the next level? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I really want to hear your opinions. This offseason has been full of surprises, and it's clear the Steelers are aiming high. I'll be back soon with more updates, rumors, and analysis, so stay tuned for everything Steelers related. Remember, this is a fan community and your voice matters. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, go Steelers.